Hello? Hi, hey, it is me, as you could expect. Hi everyone, so March is pretty much over, which is real weird because, well, first of all, the year, what, who, where did it go? What, did it happen so far? And then second, excuse me, my birthday is in early April, April 7th, so I am real excited. I don't know. So lots of fun stuff to mention. It was a sort of a quieter month. It was sort of just, you know, a lot of the stuff that I got actually arrived right after I uploaded my February favorites video. Go figure. So a lot of this is I've actually been using for pretty much the entire month, and then some other stuff has sort of popped in. So not as much stuff as normal, which is kind of nice for you guys, but still a lot of stuff because who am I? You know what I mean? So I'm actually going to go in order from when I sort of acquired them because I think that is what is going to make the most sense, and you'll see why in a moment. So Alas Nude Skincare is leaving Sephora, and if I'm not mistaken, they're leaving the country, the US. So if you live in the UK, you should be able to still get it. I think it's Space and K, I'm not entirely sure, but Sephora, it's no longer going to be here. So if you like nude skincare, get it while you can. It's all 20% off in all your stores and online. Online, the stock is going to be really limited, but in stores there should be, you know, quite a few things. So I picked up a few things because I had actually never tried nude before, and I figured now is a good of a time as ever because it's discounted. But then I also did not expect to like this stuff as much as I do. So now I'm like, great, how am I gonna get it? Smart, right? So first is the clarifying cleansing oil, and I got this because the ingredient list blew me away. It's a sunflower seed oil and a grapeseed oil based, but what really got me was broccoli seed oil, watermelon seed oil, cranberry seed oil, and if I'm not mistaken, there's a little bit of carrot seed oil or green tea seed oil. They're really effective, and I love broccoli and cranberry seed. Those are some of my favorites, as you guys know. So this is a really great cleansing oil. It's one of those that removes makeup beautifully, but I actually have used it multiple times in the morning, congested but still dry because I'm always dry. So it's a really kind of a thinner oil. It removes makeup, it cleans the skin beautifully, it rinses away lovely, cloths off really nicely as well, obviously, and I like that it's in a little pump like this. You don't get very much product though. It's 3.4 ounces, which is not huge, but you know, what are you gonna do? Now, something else that I have loved to the moon and back is the Brightening Fizzy Powder Wash. This is the Detox Gentle version. And the reason I got the gentle version is there's no physical exfoliant to it. There's no granule element, so it's not actually scratching at your face, but it's, you know, there's a little bit of sodium bicarb and a few other kind of powdered ingredients, but I find that it just cleans the skin really nicely in the morning. It just kind of refreshes you, makes your skin feel and look really clean. It never strips. It's never over pulled from my skin. I don't know about the whole brightening element. I'm sure with the vitamin C and the omegas and that sort of thing, it has a little bit of a benefit to the skin, but I just like that it's kind of a cleanser and it's in powder form that you turn into a creamy lather, and it's just fun. And I think for me it was a really good introduction into those powder cleansers because I have always been wary of them because they usually have a scrub element to them as well, and I'm not a fan of that. Lastly, the ProGenius Rescue Oil. This is alright. It's not purely oil-based. There's isoamyl laurate. Yeah, the first ingredient is your isoamyl laurate. So I find that if you put this on over a serum that has any film formers in it whatsoever, which is a lot of serums, it does that rolling kind of fun thing, whereas a lot of other oils, pure oils, don't. So that's the one thing to keep in mind. So it's thyme, rosemary, safflower, no, there's carrot extract, and jojoba and sunflower, among other things. So not a bad oil, but I don't think I'm going to miss it once it's gone. I did a Glossier order, and I'd always sort of thought like Glossier is doing a pretty good job considering that, you know, their products are not super expensive, the ingredients tend to be pretty good, there's nothing in there where I'm like red flag or like, you know, that makes me kind of want to avoid it. So I did a kind of a smaller order, and I actually really ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would, to be completely honest with you. So the Milky Jelly Cleanser is really kind of what, you know, sparked the interest to actually place an order. It is sort of a silicone-based kind of milky jelly cleanser. I think they did a good job with the name. It smells like, Josh said that it smells like roses and clay, kind of, and I kind of get that. It definitely smells like rose, but there's kind of a clay, earthy element to it. I think it cleans the skin really well. I've actually tried to use it to remove makeup, but I don't think it does it that effectively. At least not the kind of makeup I wear, which I tend to do layering with my skincare and then thin layers of makeup. I don't just throw a foundation and some mascara on and go, which is what I would imagine the Glossier clientele typically does, is keep it very simple. Concealer, brow, mascara, and that's it. So, you know, it doesn't fully take off my face makeup without the use of an extra cleanser afterwards. So, but as a skin cleanser, I think it does a really good job. I think it doesn't strip, it kind of softens the skin, it conditions it, it doesn't make it feel tight or dry, but there's no film left behind. I would obviously cloth it off, but I have tried splashing it away in the morning, and it did an okay job. But you know me and cloths, I would never not cloth my face. The Soothing Face Mist, it's quite good. I know the Mario Badescu Aloe Herbs and Rose Water Spray used to be great, and then they changed the formula and put a lot of nonsense in it, like all these glycols and colorants and unnecessary stuff. I think this is more or less kind of an homage to that, as far as, you know, there's not gross stuff in it. It's water, rose water, aloe vera, glycerin, some honeysuckle, and a little citric acid. So I think that the mist is nice. It's really refreshing. It really hydrates the skin beautifully. It's great after you do an acid, or if you just kind of want to spritz it in between your serum and your moisturizer to give a little bit of a boost, a little pep in your step or something like that. It's 4 ounces, and I think it's about $18 or so not bad. Not the cheapest, but also not super expensive. So, and then the Balm.com is fantastic. I've run it through my brows, which I will literally do for you right now, on the lips as like a cheekbone highlight, for a little eye gloss. I was actually surprised to find out that it is petrolatum based. I sort of assumed that it wouldn't be, but it's petrolatum and castor seed oil, beeswax, lanolin, so it is going to be really conditioning, but I just sort of assumed they would stay away from any mineral oil or petrolatum, but I think the petrolatum allows it to stay kind of in place. It doesn't start slipping and sliding around the way like a Vaseline or a super glossy non-petrolatum based product could do, but you can see on the brows it just gives a nice little sheen. I did an order with Target for some Pixi stuff. Can you believe that the first time I used Glow Tonic was like a week ago? I don't know what took me so long. I think for the price, for the quality of the formula, for what it does, you can't beat it. I mean, it's $15, 3.4 ounces. It's an exfoliating toner that's glycolic based. There's no alcohol. I know it's always been sold out anytime I've gone in store to a Target, so you might have to just order it online, but quite good. I'm not a huge fan of doing a purely glycolic treatment as much as I do a lactic and a salicylic. I think my skin just likes the lactic and the salicylic more, but if you're new to exfoliation, I think this is like literally the product. I wouldn't go with anything else because you're not at a huge loss if you don't like it, and it's a mild enough product that you can do every day and still, you know, and not overdo it but get the benefit. I think the star products, though, from what I've tried at least, are the Nourishing Cleansing Balm and the Rose Oil Blend. Now, this is a $20 cleansing balm. The packaging is really thin and feels really cheap, and I'm totally okay with that, because if that's what it took to get the price down, I'm totally fine with that, because they didn't skimp on the formula. It is a true balm. But yeah, this cleanser actually, it doesn't come with a spatula. I have my own little spatula in it, but it is really quite solid. It is gorgeous. It takes makeup off as quickly as probably humanly possible, even hard to remove mascara. It's definitely a thicker balm, even when you not emulsify, but when you turn it into an oil and you really massage it into the skin. It doesn't thin out the way like the Clinique does or that Emma Hardy does. So then lastly from Pixi, the Rose Oil Blend. This is gorgeous. This has the feel, the texture, the scent, and the effectiveness of an oil that costs way more than this. You know what I mean? I think this is about $24. So it is sweet almond oil, rose oil, jojoba, vitamin E, I think that's a geranium. It's hydrating, it's nourishing, it sits beautifully over a moisturizer and even underneath a moisturizer as well, or mixed in, or even used on its own. I think this is really probably one of the standout products. I really actually do fully intend to purchase more of the Pixi products, because at that price and for the quality and for the performance of all the products that I've tried so far, it's it's a no-brainer. Next, let's talk about some Belif stuff, which I've been saying Belif, which I don't know. My friends that work for the company say Belif, but I hear that it's Belif. I don't know. Anyway, the Witch Hazel Herbal Extract Toner. You hear that? That's Milky. That's a Milky toner, and you know how I feel about a Milky toner. If you have ever been intrigued by when I talked about the Kate Somerville Replenishing Toner, which you know that I love, and I actually use it as an essence after I do like a really thin watery toner to kind of add that cushiony layer back into the skin, and you don't want to spend the money for the Kate Somerville, I would say give this a try, because in practice the textures are very similar and you can at least get a feel for what I'm talking about when I layer a Milky toner over a thin toner before I do, you know, my serum. Obviously the ingredients are very different. Kate Somerville's is much more about peptides and really kind of lipid-rich plant extracts, and not that this one isn't, but it's more about hyaluronic acid and herbal extracts from the Napier's formula. So it's very different, but in practice, the textures end up being quite similar. So give this a try if you don't want to invest in the Kate. And then also the First Aid Overnight Brightening Mask. I don't know about brightening, but I do know that if you like overnight masks that just not cling to the skin, but form to the skin and don't leave a heavy kind of creamy texture on the skin, but that actually kind of stays super lightweight and almost like a gel, that's definitely this. I don't know what these little dots are though. Visible capsules of amber, pearl, and gold powder. So it's worth it to note that my friend that works for Belif gave me these. So, you know, you guys know I'm always transparent about the fact that I work in the industry and there's a lot of stuff that I don't have to pay for, and I'm fortunate in this, that, and the other, but it's always disclosed in the description bar, and I would never put a product in a video that I didn't have an opinion about. So all these things that I'm talking about I have enjoyed. So yeah, not bad, into that. So I did a Lookfantastic order with the intention of, sorry, my little, what do they call it? The garment things that you hang on the, yeah, anyway. I did a Lookfantastic order with the intention of getting the Omorovicza Amoro Essence, because Omorovicza essences, it's like a match made in heaven. And instead of sending me the essence, they sent me the Ultra Moor Mud Mask, which I had in my cart at one point, but I definitely removed it. So they sent me the Ultra Moor Mud Mask instead, and when I emailed them about it, they were like, I mean, they refunded me all my money, so I essentially got this for free, but they said that they ran out of the Amoro Essence, so I'm like, so you ran out of something, so instead you sent that customer a different product that then they get to keep for free. I mean, I'm like, free product, you know, awesome, but I really wanted the Omorovicza Amoro Essence, and they said it was out of stock, and I'm like, so then just say it's out of stock, we will give you your money back, or, you know, we'll email you when we get it in. And then I heard from a few other people that there have been some issues as far as, you know, instead of saying something, they just didn't do anything. They just never confirmed his order, or, you know, never sent a shipping confirmation, nothing. So I think I'm going to stay away from them for a little while until they kind of get everything together. The reason I buy from them is because their Omorovicza stuff is a little bit more affordable than buying it directly from, you know, a department store. Anyway, what's the point? The Ultra Moor Mud Mask I used, it's okay. It's all right. I mean, there's definitely some camphor. It smells like the Hydra Melting Cleanser a bit, which is, again, halfway between May Lindstrom's Blue Cocoon and the and Wet Paint. Basically, this has some camphor, so you can definitely feel it on this skin. There's a bit of, I don't know if it's like iron oxides or something that causes it to have a visible shimmer. I don't know, I just think I don't really understand what this is supposed to do. I only used it once, to be fair, and I'll probably use it a few more times before I really say that, oh, this is not worth the money, or I love this, or I just don't feel anything about this, but I like the deep cleansing mask a lot more. So, but along with that, at the order from Lookfantastic, I decided to order the Radical Age Defying Exfoliating Pads, because I had used these over the summer, and I was going to get them, and then I got a bunch of the Dennis Gross pads, and I still have a lot of them, but I was just like, yeah, you know what? These are different. I enjoyed them. Why not? So these are really good. It's a glycolic salicylic blend. I think touch of alcohol, not a lot. There's more aloe vera and glycerin and plant extracts than there is alcohol, but it's worth noting. Yeah, it's effective. I've used these multiple times. I think it's a really great pad. It works quickly, it doesn't irritate my skin, it doesn't smell of anything significant, and it just gets the job done. So what are you gonna do, right? Let's see. Peter Thomas Roth Viz 1000, I don't know, hydrating serum. Where has this been all my life? When I look at the ingredient label, and no exaggeration, there's nothing on the list where I'm like, why is that in there? Hang on, why is that in there? It's literally water, a fermented ingredient. There's like fermented olive leaf, honey extract, algae extract, hydrolyzed silk, zinc ferment, copper ferment, magnesium ferment, iron ferment, silicon ferment, glycerin, urea. It is sodium PCA. Like, it is just a fantastic hydrating serum. Do I like it in practice as much as I like the Hylamide low molecular HA? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, just kind of, you know, touch wood as I say. I don't think so. I think the Hylamide, still for the price, for the amount of hyaluronic acid that's in it. This says that it has 75% hyaluronic acid, but there's no actual hyaluronic acid. It's sodium hyaluronate, which is fine. That's the version that your skin can absorb a lot more effectively anyway. But I just think it's like a little, okay. Super soft, non-sticky. It forms to a very kind of, not tight feeling, but very no texture film over the skin. But I'll update you in the future. You'll probably see a blog post on this at some point. So let's see what else. My friend Jess that works for Caudalie, who loves to call me TophCam, and she knows that she loves to call me TophCam, and she never lets me forget it, and I love her for it, was kind enough to give me a few Caudalie things. So she gave me the Instant Foaming Cleanser and, you know, a few other things, but this is the one, honestly, that kind of stood out to me the most. It's very super easy to overlook this. I mean, it's a cleanser that comes in, you know, it's a liquid that turns to a foam with the pump. Non-stripping, non-drying. I think it actually removes makeup pretty well, considering that it's not an oil-based cleanser. There's no sulfates in it. I have used this probably since I've had it, probably about 4 or 5 times a week since I've had it. It's been about 2 weeks, which I think is noteworthy, right? What else? So I picked up a few Japanese sunscreens. The Nivea Sun Protect Water Gel Super SPF 50 PA Triple Plus. This is gorgeous. I did an Instagram post on this. I went to Central Park the other day when it was gorgeous outside, and this is a fantastic sunscreen. It is, you cannot feel it. It doesn't leave a white I mean, there's obviously, you know, it's not purely mineral based if there's any mineral derived ingredients in it at all. But it's, you know, obviously Asian sun technology is above and beyond. I know I mentioned it last month, but I didn't actually have the packaging. Tidal. I did a blog post on this. I will link it below. I have spent pretty much the entire month just training people on this, how to use it, all about it, the ingredients, the application, everything. People have been really enjoying it. I think a lot of people who have been purchasing this have had, you know, really good reaction to it. I don't want to say too much because I did do a blog post on it, but I love this a lot. Last but not least, I have a friend that works for Algenist that gave me some of the, well, the Reveal color correcting drops, a small kind of, you know, trial size of them. I've been playing with them. The one thing I will say with these is they're beautiful. I like the story that it's inspired by the algae and that it uses different algae that is different colors. They are very, very concentrated, which I will show you now. They are also incredibly dry if you don't prep them. Maybe they're not dry, maybe my skin is just super dry, but yeah, if I don't put a ton of eye cream on with this to like do the peach around my eyes, or I don't have an extra layer of balm on my chin to correct discoloration around there with the blue one, yeah, you're gonna see it. So that's the green. Obviously it's pretty concentrated, and I mean they sit super smooth over the skin. It does set to kind of like a smooth powdery finish. It is going to act like a primer underneath your concealer and kind of make the texture nicer and hopefully prolong the wear as well as color correct, but they are quite dry, so just keep that in mind. Prep them really well, but they're going to be really concentrated, so you won't need to use very much at a time. That's everything. If you have any other questions, let me know and I'll talk to you guys really soon. Happy spring!